everyone. My name is Ashley. I'm the operations manager at the Capital Region International Airport here in Lansing. I'm on my 7th year here. We're with an airport authority. If you're interested in airports, you might know that some are municipal airports. They're kind of owned and operated by the local city or local township, whereas an airport authority is its own entity. I enjoy working for an airport authority rather than a municipal airport. My last airport was in McAllen, Texas, and that was municipal. So as you know, airports transport people and cargo and pets, and I even see the Red Cross sending out some blood donations every once in a while, so helping get those to the places people need. Help families get on vacations, go visit loved ones, help business travelers get to their meetings, and support the industry. My job as the operations manager, I help guide a team of 7 individuals. They work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, all the holidays, all the nights, all the weekends. They're here all the time. Our team is in charge of the safety and security of the airport. We do all of the runway inspections. We check the runways and taxiways for wildlife like birds, or we check for what's called FOD, foreign object debris. So if we have any rocks or small bolts or cracks in the pavement or things, that's what we're looking for, trying to make sure that those surfaces are safe for aircraft to move around on. We also monitor the security cameras and the access control system. So to work at the airport, you have to have a security badge, and every person that badges through a door shows up in our access control system. So our team keeps an eye on that, makes sure that nobody's trying to get anywhere that they're not supposed to be. And we'll dispatch a police officer if they do notice somebody trying to get into an area that they're not supposed to be. We answer a lot of the customer service phone calls that we get. Somebody loses their bag, they want to know where their luggage is, or they lost their cell phone. We try and help connect them with the things that they've left behind. We also answer questions in regards to where to park, how much parking is. If they need basic directions, we can give them that. Our work setting, my team does 12-hour shifts. I don't do 12-hour shifts, but they do. They'll do 6 hours at the desk monitoring those security cameras and taking those phone calls. And then they spend the next 6 hours outside in the truck. We have 2 Silverados that we use, and they'll do the driving around on the runways and taxiways and watching out for wildlife. So all kinds of weather. They're outside working snow in the wintertime, assessing those runway and taxiway conditions, seeing how slippery the surface is, and making sure the pilots know so that they can make a informed decision when they're going through their landing procedures. Inside, while they're at the desk, they can adjust the temperature to whatever they're comfortable with. They can adjust the lighting to whatever they're comfortable with. They can sit or they can stand, so they're not stuck in one position for too long. It's not noisy most days. It's pretty controlled environment. Some days it does get very busy. Since when they're at the desk, they are also monitoring various radio channels. So while they're, like I mentioned, they would dispatch a police officer. They also would dispatch their operations partner. So they've got multiple radio channels that they're monitoring, as well as the channels that the air traffic control is on. So sometimes it gets kind of noisy in that respect. Lots of radio traffic, lots of phone calls coming in. As far as my position as the operations manager, I started out with my team as operations officer, and then now I'm in this position. I'm mostly inside for my whole shift. I do some walking around, but a lot of time I'm stuck at my desk kind of reviewing documents. I am in charge of all of our federally inspectable documentation and records. So all of our FAA and TSA manuals and logbooks. I also manage our security badge office. So I do all the background checks for anybody who wants a security badge, and I do all the training that goes with having that security access level. I chose this career, so it's kind of a fun story. In 5th grade, we had to do an aptitude test, and I got park ranger, clown, and airline pilot. So I'm not real comfortable with clowns. They kind of freak me out. And park ranger just sounds kind of, I've got those seasonal allergies. Spending all day outside with your allergies just really doesn't sound great for me. So I thought, oh, maybe airline pilot. I could be interested in that. So I went to Western Michigan University, and orientation day, they're talking about like cost of tuition and the program and the classes you would take. And being an airline pilot had an extra digit on the tuition compared to being on the administrative side. So I was like, you know what? I can always fly as a hobby. Still haven't done it yet. I still plan on it. I just haven't had the time and money to do so. So that's how I got started in aviation, was just that aptitude test in 5th grade. Kind of piqued my interest, and there's always so much going on in the aviation industry. Right now, we're dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, as I'm sure most people have mentioned in their videos. So we are dealing with how do we maintain our federal requirements, and how do we stay on track for things that have to be done on an annual basis. So a lot of times the FAA says something has to be done every 12 consecutive calendar months. If it's a big meeting where you would normally have like 20 or so people, you can't really hold those right now. So we're trying to find alternative measures to still meet our federal requirements, but kind of do it at a distance, doing these virtual kinds of things. In my time in my position, I've had the experience of hiring about half the team right now. So while we were doing our interviews, we all know that everybody on the panel knows that anybody interviewing can do the job. They can do the functions of the job. So while we were interviewing, we were more looking for a positive attitude, somebody who has a passion for the industry, somebody who wants to learn, those kinds of things. We don't necessarily require an aviation degree. Some degree is helpful. It shows that you've got dedication to learning, that you can make it through the whole program, but that's not necessarily a requirement. We do prefer an aviation education or criminal justice background, since you're dispatching police officers and running background checks and those kinds of things. But it's not always a requirement. Some of the ones we've had were fresh out of college, but they didn't have an aviation degree. They just had an interest. And that's mostly what we're looking for: positivity, willingness to learn, and an interest. So I think those are great things to keep in mind for anything you're interviewing for. Just express an interest and show that you're there to do the job and you want to do it well, and you'll definitely catch their eye. Thanks for listening.